Good morning, friends. This is Pastor Ginny with the Daily Word. We're in week 3 of our Keep, Stop, Start sermon series. So this week we're going to be reflecting on what new practices we might want to begin as we're headed into this new season, whatever that looks like for you. When I think about what I want to start, I'm reminded of this event that I went to back in the spring of 2019. It was a number of authors who were on a speaking tour together, promoting different books, and they had different guest speakers come out in different cities. And when they came to Houston, one of the people they had come out to speak was Shauna Nyquist, who has written a number of books. And she told a story about her family. I believe they had just recently moved from Chicago to New York City. And both of those are big cities, obviously. But she was talking about how very different their lives had become moving from a city with which they were so familiar and had spent a lot of time. They knew exactly how the rhythms of their life worked. Moving to New York, where they didn't have cars, they had to figure out, okay, when we're going to the grocery store, how do we get the groceries home, on the subway or walking or, in a bike basket. That's just one example she gave, but the kids were in a new sort of school system. There were all these changes. It was basically like everything in her life changed at once. Her life, her husband's life, and the lives of her sons. And she talked about how that had gotten really overwhelming at various points. And what she realized is that in her internal dialogue, or monologue rather, that she kept framing things as, I can't, I can't, I can't. When she would run up against difficulty after difficulty, I can't, I can't, I can't. And it was really easy to get stuck there. And so a decision that she made was to start framing those things. Rather than saying, I can't do this, she would say to herself, I guess I just haven't learned that yet. I guess I just haven't learned that yet. That yet, adding yet onto that, opens up a lot of possibility, doesn't it? And so I've been thinking about that word. This was, like I said, back probably 18 months ago almost that I heard her tell that story, but it's really relevant for us today as we're entering into this fall, entering into this back to school time, whatever that might look like for you, however that touches your life, if it does. If not, it touches the lives of people you love, and all of the adjustments that we're continually having to make in our own lives as a result of COVID, as a result of other cultural realities right now. And so I'm trying to start that practice in my own life too, to tell myself, I guess I just haven't learned that yet, instead of saying, I can't do this. Or another way to look at it might be when we are in the midst of difficult situations, not discounting the difficulty, not discounting sadness or anger or grief or frustration that may come along with those things, but even in the midst of that, to ask, what can I begin to learn from this right now? How, even in these moments, am I being equipped for the future? What are things that are going to be easier down the line because of the lessons I'm learning right now? And I'm not saying this, I want to be careful here theologically. I'm not saying that God always brings us into difficult situations, especially tragic situations, in order to teach us something. I think that we live in a world that is broken, and we deal with consequences of that world every day. But I do believe that God is in the business of redemption, and that redemption starts right now. And so that is the practice I'm trying to start in this season, to remember that there is still so much to learn, to believe that God is active in that teaching and in that redemption, even in the midst of things that are difficult. There are things that we just haven't learned yet. I look forward to hearing the practices each of you plan on starting in this season and to our continued reflection together. Have a great day.